Kim Weiland. Even when we write what we know, we usually end up having to do research to one extent or another. Personally, since most of my stories are set in either historical settings or fantasy settings based heavily in history, I usually end up having or getting to research a lot of history. Aside from the fact that research takes me away from the actual writing for a couple months, it's usually not that much of a burden. I mean, really, I get to sit and read and call it work. But if there's one thing I'm big on, it's economizing time. So if I can save myself some researching steps before I'm even ready to start working on the project, you know I'm going to do it. So here's how I get in a little early research without even trying. Let's say that I'm wanting to write stories based upon or set in ancient Rome and World War II, which I am. These stories aren't likely to manifest for several years at least. So it would seem that the best I can do right now is to make a list of possible reading sources for future reference. But let's one-up that by being practical about this. Since I'm obviously interested in these subjects, I'm very likely to be reading books about them prior to my dedicated research, and I am. So instead of just saying, oh yeah, I'll come back to this book when I'm ready to start researching for real, why not start taking notes right now? Whenever I run across a factoid that strikes me as interesting or inspiring or that has the potential to bring verisimilitude to a setting, I record it. If I'm reading a library book, I make note of the page and paragraph and transcribe the passage into my research file. If I'm reading a hard copy book owned by me, I highlight the passage. If I'm reading a Kindle book, I highlight the passage and share it on a private Twitter account from which I can then just copy-paste the text straight into my file. By the time I'm actually ready to start writing these books in a couple years, I'll already have a hefty research file waiting to inspire and inform my work.